All right, today we're going to do a mini lesson about showing rather than telling. This is a common problem with narrative writing. Oftentimes, people will try and summarize rather than write narrative, and showing is always better than telling. So, first, um, I composed this sentence about this picture. Right? The little girl looked so tired, she clearly needed a nap. This sentence is utilitarian. It gets the job done, but it doesn't engage the reader in any way. It doesn't make the reader want to keep reading. You're telling us everything in this sentence. You're telling us that the little girl looks tired. You're telling us that she needs a nap. You're not showing us, and it doesn't make me want to keep reading. So then let's revise. So the brown-eyed little girl wore a plastic Viking cap, and her mouth was sticky from candy. Standing there in her dress-up clothes, she looked more tired than I had ever seen a child look. But she was so very stubborn. I saw we were headed for a battle. This passage, you see how it got bigger, right? This passage is better than the previous sentence, but it's still just telling us things. You're telling us, we added brown-eyed little girl. Now we have some extra adjectives. We added that she's wearing a plastic Viking cap and her mouth is sticky from candy, but you're telling us that she's wearing a Viking cap. You're telling us that her mouth is sticky from candy. And then you're still telling us that she's tired. You're telling us that she's stubborn, and you're telling us that we're going to have a fight here. And all these extra details don't really make that much sense. They don't contribute to the sentence or to the passage. Like the plastic Viking cap and the sticky candy and the dress-up clothes, they don't make any sense. They don't make you, they seem like they're random details that are just thrown in there. So let's try one more time. Her sleepy brown eyes hardened into red ridden slits. She cocked her plastic Viking helmet with a quick motion, the horn sticking out only a little more than her curls. One fist clutched a decapitated lollipop, the other a cardboard sword. She leveled the point at my chest. "You mean dragon," she growled. "You'll never make me nap." This is showing. This passage shows us, yes, we still say that she's sleepy, but now it's her eyes that are sleepy rather than her being sleepy. And we're describing how they're doing something, so we can infer that she's sleepy. Now the plastic Viking helmet and the candy make sense because she's pretending to be a Viking and you're the mean dragon, which is great, right? The decapitated lollipop, and it has dialogue, and that dialogue helps us to see in there. You don't tell us she's sleepy. You show us she's sleepy. You don't tell us she needs a nap. You don't tell us that she's stubborn. You show us. And it's so much better than the previous passages that we looked at. All right, so now let's just practice a couple times. So we're going to choose the better sentence. So the first one is, my brother is talented, or my brother modifies sports car engines, competes in ballroom dance tournaments, and analyzes chess algorithms. Hopefully, you picked this sentence because this sentence is the better sentence when you're showing rather than telling. This tells us that the brother is talented. This shows us that the brother is talented because he does all these things. All right, next one. The windowsill was shedding flakes of fungus green paint, or the windowsill was green. This is the better sentence because it is showing us things. This just tells us that it's green. There's not much going on in this sentence. This one tells us that yes, it's green, but also it's gross because we have the word fungus, and it's old because it's shedding flakes of fungus green paint. So it's showing us so much more. The next one, I leaned against a weeping silver birch. This one's better, right? I leaned against a tree. And then we can look at a whole passage. So we have two passages. So the first one is, Portugal is beautiful. The weather is warm, the day is sunny. Every afternoon I sit outside reading or writing letters with the ocean in the distance. The air smells fresh and sweet. Sometimes I feel as if I could fall asleep outside in the warm air. I never want to leave. It's so vast and beautiful that I hope this moment lasts forever, that it never ends. And then the other one is, my eyes droop. I recline on the terraco of a friend's villa in Sintra, Portugal. Across the valley is another villa, owned by the Rothschilds, and beyond that the Atlantic Ocean, currents flowing from the Gulf of Cadiz, azure and hot. I am writing an aerogram, the paper supported by a book, Graham Greene's The End of the Affair. Beside my lounge, an oval table holds a pitcher of ice water. Slices of lemon circle a tray. I place a slice in a goblet, fill it up with water, and sip. Cerise, bougainvillea, etched whitewashed walls. I drift in sun, in shade from cork trees, sun and shade, pages of the book and the aerogram flutter against my fingertips. Hopefully you noticed that this is the better passage, because this is just telling us stuff. It's telling us that Portugal is beautiful. It's telling us that the weather's warm and the days are sunny. It's telling us that you sit outside and read letters or read and write letters, and that you want to fall asleep and that you hope that it lasts forever because it's so beautiful. This passage shows us how beautiful it is. I want to go to this place. I don't really care about this place. This is such a better passage. So last things, this is your showing versus telling toolbox. If you want to show, these are the techniques that you should use, especially imagery and using diction, especially adjectives and really strong verbs, dialogue beats, telling the story in first person using present tense. Metaphors and similes are great. Specific details are good, but the ones that really hit home for me are imagery, diction, dialogue beats, and present tense. Those are the ones that really make showing work rather than telling. So as you revise your pieces, as you write in narrative, make sure to keep these things in mind so that you can show the reader rather than tell the reader.